Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final edition of the Playbook for 2019. I'm Josh Randall.
Sorry about that. I'm Tyler Wright.
And Tyler, we got something different in store for us.
We do.
You want to, do you want me to explain it? Or do
I
you
got
want...
it. So
Okay,
this episode, it's completely different. Josh asked me to, and he's doing himself as well, he asked me to choose 5 players of the decade that made an improvement this year for NFL and NBA.
Yep.
So I did, and he did his. So we did some research about it. Might be a little similar, but I feel like we are going to argue between some things because, it's me and Josh. We always argue.
Absolutely.
All
We're
right,
good at that.
And I'll go first with
Do you
the
want to go
NFL.
first? NFL first. All right, let's get
Starting from my bottom to my top.
Okay.
All right, so honorable mention is Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce. Okay.
He is
Bold
the
choice.
only tight end in NFL history to have 4 straight seasons with 1,000 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Peyton Manning,
Okay.
who is, of course, won Super Bowl, then retired, and set records.
Yep.
I didn't think anyone was going to beat him until I saw Drew Brees. Anyways, then Aaron Rodgers. Look what he's doing for his team currently and over the past.
Mm-hmm.
They've won some Super Bowls
Yep.
with him, and he's won a couple MVPs as well. Then we got Antonio Brown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any stats for him to show you, but I do have something.
Antonio Brown because he's a goon.
No.
Okay.
So with his left double moves, I'm talking about as a receiver.
Okay.
And he's the only wideout named first all-team pro 4 times during the decade.
Yep.
And it's just a shame to see that drama that he's gone, just ruin his talent.
Mm-hmm.
It just makes me go to waste.
Yep.
Now we got Rob Gronkowski.
Rob Gronkowski.
If we have a graphic, I would like to show you currently.
Okay.
Because he is multiple tight ends. He's above Travis Kelce for points per game, I believe it is, or points per reception for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's multiple other categories he's leading in. He's the greatest tight end I've ever seen play football, besides Tony Gonzalez.
Yep, I agree with that.
He's one of the best. And the way he plays the game and all that, it's just incredible. I love him. I love to see him play. Then my number 3.
Yep.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Of course it is. Go ahead.
Right? Look at this highlight reel we have from him right now. And it's his 50th touchdown we have him thrown right here.
Yep.
That same play has 5,000 yards and his 50th touchdown thrown.
Mm-hmm.
He's also, going back to the Steelers game, I have a graphic of that too. The Steelers game of Patrick Mahomes, he is the only player to have 10 touchdowns in first 2 games. He actually, I think he had 12 touchdowns in the first 2 games. Oh, no, he had 6 and then 4. But he played incredible against the Steelers. And he joined Tom Brady and Peyton Manning for the only quarterbacks to throw 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards in a season.
Nice. Who else you got? Is that it? Is that the whole list?
Number 2 is Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
He has a record for the most touchdowns,
Yep.
most passing yards, best completion rate, leads the team to great records as past 2 years. Almost went to the Super Bowl because of a bad call. Probably would have beat the Patriots.
Whole argument about that.
And then number 1. No, I'm kidding. Tom Brady.
Okay. All right.
He's got 6 rings. Led a 28-3 comeback in the Super Bowl against the Falcons.
Yep.
Great team, great coach, breaking records. He's probably gonna beat Drew Brees' record too. He's 3 touchdowns away from him, I believe. And the biggest comeback in football was that Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
No one has ever done it either. That's my 5.
That's your 5. All right. So I agree with you on a lot of things. I have one other different name in there in that top 5. It's not actually. Well, it's not Antonio Brown. I just want to start off with my honorable mentions, both Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning. I feel like Aaron Rodgers still competing, still doing very well. I mean, I don't think he's attributed to much. I mean, I don't want to say that because all due respect to him, he's a great quarterback, but I just don't feel like he's done the same things and made the same strides as the other 2 quarterbacks on my list. We'll get to those in a bit. Peyton Manning, he won the Super Bowl and he retired. So I mean, he wasn't around the whole decade, but that's the only reason keeping him off this list, essentially, is just because we didn't see as much as him this decade. Anyways, to start things off, number 5, Odell Beckham Jr. Now, this is different because I feel like he's already mad at me. Okay, listen to my point. I'm taking much broader aspects than you are. I'm looking at things much more broad than you are.
Let me guess, because the one catch he had, and then he's.
But think of it. That one catch made him famous, and not only started.
Now he can't do it again.
That's not the point. The point is that one catch started this whole revolution of people. It made the wide receiver position exciting, at least more exciting than it was before that catch. Would you agree? Would you agree with that? You look at the wide receiver position and you see these people like it's crazy. It's crazy
what the helmet catch.
The helmet catch.
Yeah, Giants against the Patriots.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool.
And then we have the leg catch with Edelman. Mm-hmm. Sorry, go on.
But listen, essentially, Odell Beckham Jr., he made his name off of that catch, and I think that, there's not many wide receivers in football better than him right now. I mean, there's a couple, but I mean, still, I think he's done a lot for that position.
Hill, Jarvis
okay, I didn't argue with you when you were on your list. Okay, number 4, Patrick Mahomes. Now, I put him kind of lower on my list because, we've only seen him these last couple of years. I mean, but I just want to say Patrick Mahomes, he himself, these past 2 seasons, has already started a revolution for quarterbacks. We see quarterbacks getting much more mobile, trying a lot more new things, trying crazy things. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was really one of the only quarterbacks I've seen in recent history that's been able to step outside of his comfort zone as far as what he does on the field and still come off with it. I mean, you were talking about the highlight video earlier. We can throw that up again if you want. I mean, it's just simply the things that he do are incredible.
I mean, if you look at that pass, if it's up right now, if you look at the pass he throws to Demarcus Robinson, he's in the pocket for a couple seconds, and he just launches it. He sees a guy, he sees the target, and about right now is when he would throw it. Throws it, catches it, guy runs, does a little cocky thing, gets a penalty. And right there, he throws for 50th touchdown and the same play, 5,000 yards.
Yeah, but see, the thing is that I'm looking at is that now that we have that Patrick Mahomes who was able to step outside his comfort zone, be more mobile, look at how many quarterbacks, I mean, an example already being, I already lost his name, Lamar Jackson on the Ravens. Look at what he's doing. Okay, he's being the mobile quarterback, and I'm assuming that a lot of it is because nobody could stop Patrick Mahomes last season. Nobody could stop that mobile game because we simply haven't seen that much of it before, or at least not to this extent. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
All right, absolutely. Okay, number 3, Rob Gronkowski. Now, I want to agree with everything you said. He's one of the best tight ends to ever play football. He's breaking records. He's one of the most successful of all time, if not the most successful of all time. I think it's pretty safe to say also, you could see that how much of a crucial position he played in that Patriots team.
He's a big red zone target.
He is. Absolutely. When Rob Gronkowski wasn't playing for the Patriots, when he was injured or whatnot, you could see the difference in the team.
You see it now.
And I feel like, exactly, and I feel like that could apply to Travis Kelce too. I feel like, if that name is, if you're a good enough tight end, I think that if that position is left out, if, Rob Gronkowski wasn't on the team, the Patriots performed differently. They were pushed outside of their comfort zone. And yeah, he played a crucial part. This decade was truly the decade of Rob Gronkowski as far as that goes. Number 2, Drew Brees, as you said, very well. And I just want to point out, he is still performing. He's still leading his team despite his age.
If we pull up this graphic of Drew Brees right now, comparison between him and Peyton Manning, you'll see the second column he has more touchdowns.
Yep.
That has a completion rate, I believe, and then yards. So, I mean, just look at the facts. It's right there on the screen.
No,
Brees.
I give big props to Drew Brees because, I see a lot of similarities between him and the number 1, which are already, it's obvious it's going to be Tom Brady. I see a lot of similarities between those two. Drew Brees is simply still competing despite his age, and I feel like we don't see that out of Tom Brady as much. But the one reason why I put Tom Brady at my top spot is simply because this decade cemented his legacy as possibly one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So obviously, if you couldn't tell, number 1, Tom Brady. We've seen him in this decade do more things than we saw of him years previous. We saw him get more rings, complete more big plays, make highlights. We saw the comeback versus the Atlanta Falcons. I mean, it was just simply his decade. He made himself a name. He cemented himself in football history in the 2010s.
I mean, I believe we have a video of him playing. If you just look at this video right now, and the way he's throwing the ball, and it's for 5 yards or anything like that, but he's getting it done. He's getting it over receivers. He's getting guys the ball. Yeah, he was kind of pressuring that Sanu guy to get the ball, but hey, it worked. He made him fit on the team, and look at them now. They're 11-3.
And obviously, I mean, Tom Brady hasn't had the resources consistently. He hasn't had the same resources, but I think simply he's just the greatest of all time. Yeah. And I don't think anybody in the NFL could dispute that right now. I don't think they have enough to dispute the fact that Tom Brady not only is the greatest of all time, but made himself a name, and it's like he proved it. He's just been crazy. So,
I mean it's sad to see like his big target Gronkowski retired at the age of 29 due to injuries.
You can't really blame him for that though. I mean,
he was a premier impact for the run blocking.
Yep.
That's why they were so successful last year for running the ball, because they had big Gronk over there.
Exactly. As I said, if Gronk wasn't on the team would perform differently. Exactly. Yeah. Case in point. It's just, I don't know. I feel like Tom Brady, I don't want to see him go, but it's coming, and I think that the 2010s was probably the best, 10 seasons of his life, and I feel like he's made himself the greatest out of that time, and I feel like, not a lot of other quarterbacks have done that. Not many quarterbacks have successfully not only successfully, won trophies and won games, but stayed, somewhat consistent until these last couple of years. He started on the downfall, as we say, but he's stayed pretty consistent throughout these last 10 years, and I'm really glad. I'm really glad to see him do that. I mean, unfortunately, his time's coming at some point, but that's just how it is, honestly. I mean, yeah. Any debate on our things? I mean, I find it, I don't know. I mean, maybe
where I put Antonio Brown?
No, I'm not finding a place to put Antonio Brown. I think maybe I could have threw Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers on the list. I don't know. I kind of figured, I don't know. It was a toss-up between Odell and Aaron Rodgers. I think I probably could have done it. I wanted to stay away from quarterbacks as much as I could.
I mean, yeah, that's why I chose, Antonio Brown, Gronkowski, and Travis Kelce and stuff, because, those are, big names in football. They always pick big names.
Yep.
Antonio Brown, if he comes back, that's a big if.
He's not coming back.
I mean, right now he's still the best wide receiver in the league.
Okay.
In football, he's still the best. Arguably the best football player.
Yeah.
Or not best football, best wide receiver in the game.
Yeah.
So if he comes back and performs the way he does, puts all the drama aside, I believe he'll come back and be that guy.
It's too late to put all the drama aside.
There's actually 29 teams still interested in him.
Yeah, sure. And there was that many teams looking at Colin Kaepernick, too. That didn't amount to anything.
Yeah, there's 4 Super Bowl contenders. That's what I forgot about my team, Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, my goodness. Don't, please, no. Okay, not for the memes. All right, are we done? Are we done with NFL? All right, now, moving on. Same question, but now for NBA. Do you want to start? Do you want me to start? I think you started last time. So you want me to start? Okay. Honorable mention for the NBA. 2 honorable mentions. I want to put Dirk and Kawhi Leonard. Okay. A lot of people would put Dirk in the top 5. They really would. I just feel like what? No call-outs. I don't know. As Dirk got older and as his career the end was near. Essentially, my words are terrible today, but it's fine.
Now.
But those last 4 seasons or whatever, we didn't see him play at all, and I feel like that really hurt him. I think if they kept him, kind of decent minutes, I think he probably could have been on this list because he would have had time to make more memories. But yeah, it's just what it is. Kawhi Leonard, I have him on there. His time, it's coming. He's gonna be the biggest player in the league. Arguably he is now. A lot of people would say that, but I just don't think he's had that legacy over the past 10 years. That's why I haven't put him on the list. Okay, so number 5, Kevin Durant. Now, I put Kevin Durant on this list because of the fact, not because he's a tireless scorer, not because he's hustle rebounder, not because of any of that stuff. Ignore the facts for a second. He started the super team era in the 2010s. Despite it being, 5 years in or whatever, people hated the Golden State Warriors and people hated Kevin Durant simply because all he did was trade teams. And now all the teams are trying to do the same thing that the Golden State Warriors were doing, same thing that Kevin Durant was doing. They're trying to build super teams. And honestly,
we didn't. League of duos currently.
We didn't really have it. Well, for now. But we didn't really have a super team per se. I mean, Golden State Warriors still performing, still did well. But we didn't really have that super team until Kevin Durant showed up. And that just revolutionized it. People were hating the NBA. People were going off because they figured, hey, this is unfair. It's not fun to watch.
So you put him as number 5, right?
I put him as number 5, yeah.
Because he's a snake, basically.
Not because he's a snake, but just because of the effect that his move had on the league. I feel like he made his name for himself. He did good on the Thunder. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think he built
his decade.
But he built his career on the Golden State Warriors. Would you agree with that a little bit? Do you think you would agree with that for now?
Not really.
Not really. Okay. You know what? That's fine.
I'll debate that.
All right. So number 4, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now I put him on here because number 1, he's a great player, but number 2, think of the doors he has opened for international talents. He comes out of Greece.
Yeah, and I think you're basing this off 1 season.
What do you mean 1 season?
2 seasons.
Was doing good
Last season,
at least 3 or 4. but not the point. Okay, he's been kind of like the star on the Bucks for at least the last 4 seasons. Okay, he hasn't been the biggest name, but he's been up there. He's been leading that team. Okay, I don't think anybody could argue that. But think of the doors he is opening for international talent. We see people like Luka Doncic, you know. He's really young. I think he's only like 20 years old, and he's already, like, people are talking about him for MVP, you know. It's craziness. And really, Giannis opened that door for him. He said that, look, even if you're from another country, you can come play in this league and be successful. And I think that not a lot of other players have achieved that, you know. So I think that's what sets Giannis apart from the rest. I mean, reigning league MVP, story speaks for itself. Anyways, number 3, Steph Curry. I mean, we could just look at the highlight video and that would speak for itself. I mean, if you want to throw the highlight video up, you can. But I think that what Steph Curry has done for the game of basketball has been, it's been like nobody else. Before Steph Curry started getting like the deep range stuff and started like shooting threes consistently, the three was like, it wasn't part of anybody's game per se. I mean, it was there, but you know, you didn't see teams.
You only shot if you're open.
Yeah, you only shot if you were open. You didn't see teams using that 3-pointer like you have until Steph Curry just started going off. And I think that not only has that inspired the rest of the league, that's inspired the youth as well. Because, you know, every single time you step on a basketball court, whether you go to the park, you do whatever, kids are shooting 3-pointers like crazy. And it's just because
like Curry.
And it's only because of Steph Curry. So I have to really contribute that to him. He's the best 3-point shooter of all time. But, I mean, it's craziness. It's craziness what that shot alone and what his shot in just that one player has done for the game of basketball. I think that's really, really crazy. I mean, we have the graphic about his hot zones and stuff. He's just super consistent from 3 points. I mean, it speaks for itself.
Over 42%.
Over 42%. It's craziness. Anyways, number 2, I've got a graphic for this one as well. Dwayne Wade. Now, I have Dwayne Wade on this list, and not because of his statistical greatness. Okay, he wasn't always the best statistically. Okay, but he basically. He was the epitome of the role to be a team player. Through thick and thin, he led that Miami Heat team. I mean, yeah, he was traded. I think he was either traded or signed a free agency for the Bulls, but that didn't last long. That was only a season. But, like, still, to see him leave that legacy on the team, with or without LeBron, with or without Chris Bosh or whoever else, he was still there, and he still led that team. And I feel like we don't see that a lot from NBA teams anymore. We don't see that team leader, that, you know, heart and soul of the team. We don't see that loyalty anymore, especially now with, like, you know, salary cap issues and stuff like that. We don't see that from players anymore, but Dwayne Wade was able to stick through it. I mean, he probably received tons of offers to go to other teams, but he stuck with the Miami Heat. And I feel like we don't see that loyalty a lot anymore, and I feel like now that he's gone, that's like, you miss it. You miss it a lot. So yeah, that's my piece on Dwayne Wade. But number 1...
It's good, buddy.
You knew it was coming. It's LeBron James, okay? Nobody could argue that. I think LeBron James simply... He did a lot like Tom Brady. He cemented himself in this decade as one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest. I'm sure a lot of people could argue that he's the greatest of all time. I think what he's done, he's inspired so many people. He's inspired so much of the youth. He's changed the way we play, you know. Aside from, like, if you look at him compared to a guy like Steph Curry shoots threes, but LeBron is more like in the paint, you know. He thrives well. Number 1, he thrives well under pressure. I feel like not a lot of other players have that ability, but I just also think he's left a legacy on this league, and I feel like not a lot of other players have done that. Yeah, Steph Curry has done that. I mean, we're gonna remember him forever, but I think LeBron James he's just been there, and he's been through the league. You know, he hasn't been the most loyal. He's changed teams a couple times, but basically when you've needed him, he was there, and essentially. He's truly been one of the greatest of all time, and we haven't seen that from a lot of other people. So, Tyler, your turn. Go ahead.
Honorable mentions: Dirk, and
yep.
Dwayne Wade.
Ooh, okay.
I do not count Dwayne Wade as a top 5 decade player.
Okay.
Number 5 is James Harden.
Okay.
This man is scoring in the past 2 seasons. He is at 30.4 in 2017-18, and he's 36.1 this year. Mm-hmm. He recorded the highest scoring average since Jordan's 37.1 points per game. Mm-hmm. And that was back in 1986.
Okay, the league was a lot different then, but go ahead. I agree with that.
He recorded, I mean, don't yell at me for this one.
No.
But he recorded for the career high made free throws ever.
Okay.
Don't yell at me. I know he drawed fouls a lot, blah.
Wasn't planning on it, but okay.
And he, just like Curry, is revolutionizing the 3. He's his little step back kind of guy.
Yeah.
And if you look at James Harden, he can like draw the fouls and like draw like stuff and like people.
His defense doesn't exist, but
that's
fine.
a lie. That is a lie. Yes, 2 years ago it did not exist. Last year made a big improvement.
He did.
Big jump.
No, I agree with that.
This year's making a big jump. I mean, remember last year's block without even looking, swatted out of bounds against DeMar DeRozan?
That's fair.
I mean, that may have been luck, but it's still defense. And then we got Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, okay.
The part I disagree with you about is that he made an impact on the Spurs. He won consecutive Defensive Player of the Years, just consecutive MVPs, consecutive Finals MVPs. He won them Finals. Yeah, he might have Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker. They were the Golden State Warriors back then. They were winning. They were doing it right. That's why when Kawhi was there. Like then Kawhi got injured.
Yep.
Everyone thought he was done. Everyone thought he was falling apart. And he was traded to the Raptors. Did he win? He did not win MVP. He did not win Defensive Player of the Year. But he was in the category for both of those as number 2.
It's a fact.
Then he goes to the Finals. Hits that lucky shot against the 76ers, moves on to the Finals.
Craziness.
Takes down the Golden State Warriors dynasty.
Okay.
He completely took it down. Gave Toronto their first ever win. I almost called it Super Bowl. NBA Finals win.
Funny.
And then he leaves.
Yep.
It's him and LeBron are similar like that. They leave to make teams better. I'm saying he left to make.
But he didn't need to leave.
Actually, I take that back. I take that back.
LeBron had to leave Cleveland. I know.
I take that back.
Okay.
Thank you. If Kawhi had he even said himself, it was very tempted to go back to the Raptors because he had a legacy there. But he didn't want to. He wanted to go to his hometown.
Yep.
So that's why I feel like Kawhi Leonard is number 4 on my list.
Okay.
Then we have Steph Curry, number 3. And if we go back to this highlight reel of him shooting the threes, just look at all the positions he's standing. He's like drawing fouls. He's launching himself forward.
I agree.
There's one of the threes he takes in this video where he literally like falls straight on his back, popping a 3, and it still makes it.
Yeah.
He revolutionized the 3. He is the best 3-point shooter and arguably the best shooter in the entire NBA.
All time?
Yeah, all time. He has broken the records for his most 3-pointers this decade.
Yep.
2017, he set it for like 320.
Yep.
2018, he broke it again for like 379 or something like that. And it was in one season. He's making an impact on the season, or in this decade.
Yeah.
He's, if not, I mean, he is the top 3 in mine, but like all time, he is the best shooter and best 3-point shooter. And then we have Kevin Durant.
Ooh, you put Kevin Durant high. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue.
I'll tell you why. Thunder. See, the part where you said, the part where you told me that he made his name in the Warriors, I completely wanted to vomit in my mouth when you said that.
Really? Is that because you're a Thunder fan and you're just still salty?
Yes and no, but no, I'm kidding. But no, that part made me so sick to my stomach.
Did it actually?
Look what he did for the Thunder.
I'm not saying he didn't.
Him and Russ.
I'm not saying that.
Him and Russ were a dynamic duo for each other. Yeah, they didn't make the finals. They were close to it.
Go on.
Really?
Go on.
Really?
Go on. I'm listening.
You're not making me mad at that. So that like, you can't tell me like that's not like a legacy built back. Like he built their legacy. Yeah, everyone hated him when he left the Thunder, but like I completely understand why. Like he wasn't winning there. He wasn't getting it done.
Okay.
So he joined the Warriors.
Did you say that same thing back when that happened? Did you?
I was furious.
Exactly.
But like now looking back at it, Thunder weren't going anywhere.
Exactly.
They were not making it past the final round. They lost to the Warriors, blew a 3-1 lead.
Yep.
But it's not all his fault. He was still performing at high levels, averaging 30 points. And then if you go back to the finals, against LeBron, he's averaging 31 points against LeBron in the finals.
Yeah.
So
you're proving my point.
Arguably, he might become better than LeBron James.
I think now he is, definitely.
No,
I don't think there's any question there.
I'm talking about all time.
No.
He can catch up to LeBron James.
He can catch up.
There's arguments back when he was on Thunder that he would be a better shooter than Michael Jordan.
But Kevin Durant, see, the problem I have with that argument is that Kevin Durant, I think he's like 30 at this point, isn't he?
No, he's like 28.
28, well, close enough. He doesn't have as much time to catch up to LeBron. I think
He's not far behind.
What are you saying when you say catch up to LeBron? What is your argument with that? What are you saying?
Be better. All time, like he
all time better.
He might dethrone him as the GOAT.
That's debatable.
I know your opinion. Michael Jordan's still the GOAT.
I've never said that, but okay.
You're
not wrong, but
LeBron's the GOAT?
I'm not saying not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Anyways.
Not yet.
So
It's gonna get there.
Kevin Durant is something special in this league.
Agreed.
Now I'm going on to my number one.
Yep.
LeBron James.
Absolutely.
Arguably, he is the GOAT. But in
Arguably.
my opinion, right now he is the GOAT. But then again, he has to bring this Lakers team to the finals
Yeah.
and maybe win it for him to be called the GOAT. I mean, he's setting records. Don't get me wrong. He's the best. He's the best guy in the entire league. He's better than Michael Jordan. The stats prove it. And overall, LeBron left the Heat to the Cavs.
Yep.
Who did the Cavs have? Rookie Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, but even then,
Who had
Kyrie
nothing?
was still.
It was Kyrie's first year or second year.
But
when
but
LeBron
still,
joined.
it doesn't matter how much Kyrie was doing. Kyrie was still there, and Kyrie was still providing for that team.
Yeah,
Which
but
I
not a
agree with
lot.
you. I agree with you on that sense. I'm just saying, when LeBron has had success, he's had resources. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that statement? When he has had success, think about LeBron not only then, but now. Who does he have now? He's got Anthony Davis, at least, okay? That's one thing.
Well,
Dwight
yeah,
Howard, he's coming back.
Everybody wants to play with him because he's that much of a team
Exactly.
player.
But what I'm saying is when LeBron's had success, this is why I don't consider him the GOAT yet. When LeBron is successful, he has resources, okay? And I'm not saying Michael Jordan didn't. I'm just saying that's something you got to take into consideration because other people are also helping his case because LeBron's not the only person on the floor. And not even to mention the fact that when Boogie Cousins comes back, that team's going to be unstoppable.
Okay.
If it's not already.
So about LeBron James and stuff, LeBron has proved himself throughout this entire decade.
Yep.
Finals MVPs, MVPs, and all that stuff. He's getting it done.
Yeah.
He's left good teams to bad teams, make them good teams, and then leave again.
Because he's
Look at the Lakers.
I agree.
They were bad, and now he's making them good because he's getting resources for that team.
Yeah, but that's not him.
They
making it
almost
good.
made the playoffs last year just with LeBron. If he didn't get injured, they would have made playoffs. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, but the
They were
Lakers.
2 games shy.
I can't disagree. I mean, I want to, but I just can't. Honestly, I just feel like LeBron James, even though his time's coming to an end very soon, he's still got work to do, and I think that. I agree with a lot of what you said. I feel like the reason why LeBron goes to bad teams is because not only he goes to teams with salary cap space because he wants that money, okay? Don't you even argue that. One of the highest paid athletes in
Curry's
the world.
the highest paid athlete in the NBA.
Okay.
I mean, he deserves it. Just look at him.
On contract, maybe. On endorsements, that's a whole
different. Yeah,
whole
it's
other
completely
whole other discussion. But yeah, I agree with most of what you're saying. I can't argue much. I feel like that's same for NFL. I really agree with a lot of what you're saying. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So yeah, that's about it. All right, well, everybody have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, everything, all the holidays,
Merry Christmas, guys.
everything.
And I'll see you next year.
See you next year. Peace.